Hello friends, very good morning to all of you. So we are in PF58 part 1. So that is how to call PingFederate REST API in Java. So PingFed have all the REST API for all the functionalities, like to check the license version, to just create PCB, to create data store, to create adapter, to create a SAML connection, to create a auth connection, so to create a certificate, to renew the certificate. So all those functionalities PingFed is giving you through the REST API. So we'll just try right now. Basically, we use the manual thing, right? We went to the console and then we just maybe just created self-signed certificate. We onboarded SAML application. We onboarded our auth application. We tried to check the license version, right? Those all things we did. So right now, what we'll do in this video, we'll just write a code in Java, and we'll just try to utilize PingFederate REST API. And I'll just show you some examples. So you'll get an idea how you can call the REST API and you can automate the things. No need to go to the console to perform those things, right? You can just do by your, like, maybe you have, if you have any kind of self-service application, you can just utilize those REST APIs and you can perform those things by using that portal only. No need to go to that PingFederate console. So I'll just give you some example, right? Maybe not all I'm able to show, but yeah, I'll just give you some examples so you'll get an idea how those things are working. So you can just write your code and you can try those. Yeah, so let's begin. We are in PF58 and we'll discuss on PingFederate Admin Rest API. So there are a few sections under this Admin Rest API where I can just show you some example that how we can code using Java, and then we can just run that functionality to see how that REST API works and how we can automate few of our works that we are doing as a manual thing. So we can just try to understand those all part. So in this first section, let's talk about PingFederate Admin Rest API. So as you can see in my screen that I'll just post this link in the description, that my GitHub repository for the PingFederate Admin Rest API. So you can just come and just you can download this Word file, which can just give you some idea on this REST API, and we'll just go through in this video also. But yeah, you can just download this if you want and have a look on that. So let's quickly go to the Word file. Okay, this is administrative API. So PingFederate Administrative API is a REST-based interface that provides a programmatic way to make configuration changes to PingFederate as an alternative to using the console. You are prompted for proper administration credentials when you try to perform an API operation. Okay, so right now whatever we did in the PingFederate, if we can just recall that, so we just built data store, we have built PCV, password credential validator, we built different types of adapters, we have integrated multiple connections, we have also integrated a OpenDJ directory server with PingFederate, and we just onboarded auth applications, OpenID, SAML, WSFed, all those, correct? So whatever things we did manually, we can just do that using the REST API also, using a programmatic way. That we'll just try to understand in the coming session. So what is the advantage, you can say, right? What is the advantage of using this REST API? We can just simply, if we have a way to simply just go to the console and do that work, so then what is the benefit of using this REST API? So this REST API helps to automate few of the things. So let's say that you have a kind of self-service portal through which you can configure maybe like whatever things you want, right? It's not like you need to go to console, log into console and do the things. Instead of that, you have a kind of self-service interactive portal through which you can simply do those tasks in less time. So let's say if you're going to console, right? So you need to maybe go to some machine, virtual machine, I say, then just connect to that console, right? Administrative console, and then you just need to perform that task. So it will take some time. Let's say, let's talk that if you want to onboard a SAML application. So for that, you just need to go to the console, log in with your credentials, and then there are several steps for onboarding a SAML application. So you just need to go through all those options, put whatever the adapter, authentication policy contract, attribute contract, whatever, right? You just need to put all those, and then once you save the connection, then later you can test that. So those all things you need to do one by one, and it will take really good time, maybe 15 minutes or maybe more than that. So instead of that, if there is a way, you can think that, so I can just create a kind of portal through which I can just use the REST API of PingFederate for creating a SAML connection, And there what I will do, I'll just make something as a static. That means like I will make some standard, because you can see in the industry that you have some standard, like if you're onboarding application, you have some standard attributes, you have the standard authentication mechanism, you have the standard what I say, the attribute contract fulfillment, you have the standard for all those, right? So what we can do, we can just use those standard and then make our code, so that like for SAML application, that I can just ask the entity ID and the consumer URL from the application team in that portal. That means I built a portal. In that portal, I can ask these two things from the end user, that fill the details like the entity and consumer. And once you can submit that, it will automatically call that REST API for the SAML creation, SAML application creation. And using those standard of the adapter or APC, you can say, or the standard attributes, with all those standard values, it can quickly set up your connection within like maybe say 10 or 20 seconds or less than that. So those are the advantages of, I'm just giving you one, right? But there are many other also which you can build using this REST API. And also like, I'll just give you one more example I have seen in the industry, that what is happening. So let's say that you have an organization and you have a PingFederate setup where you have onboarded, let's say 2000 applications, and you have the applications with the different authentication policy, everything it's configured and it's running. Now what I see in the industry, like what management is trying, they're just trying to understand, okay, in the PingFederate I have like 2000 applications, but I just want to know that how many applications using the MFA or how many not, or like what applications have the critical authentication challenge, what application is not having. So I just need to want an overview of my applications, like as per the compliance part. I just want to know that, like let's say I'm a vice president, okay, so I just want to know the overview section, that okay, I have like 2000 applications running on PingFederate, but how those applications have like what authentication policy is configured for those, like and can I get some overview to just get a data that okay, I have like 5 critical applications and these all are using this MFA and they have less session time, something like that. So right now, just by going to PingFederate, it's not very easy. You can prepare some dashboard and just present those, right? And also, like, you will not say that your vice president or any management person, hey, please, I'll give you the credentials, I'll just make your account in the admin of PingFederate, so please go and check those. It's not possible, right? Because they don't understand on that PingFederate part, because maybe they are technical or maybe they are not technical in the PingFederate terms. So if you just simply just tell them to go to PingFederate console and just have a look on those applications and the policy, it's really not going to work. So what industry is doing nowadays, like they have a common tool, or you can say a compliance tool, where they are just putting all the IAM or security related things into that product, into that console or into that product. That means like I have a application A, let's say, and in that application, if my management just want that, okay, in the PingFed I have like 2000 applications and I know these are the 5 critical applications. So what authentication policy is being used for this application? What is the session time? I just want to know in just an overview. So that portal is now doing that work. That means I'll simply go to that portal. I'll open that portal. I'll go to the PingFederate section and I'll see that I have 2000 applications configured. These 10 applications are critical. In those 10, like there is a multi-factor authentication enabled, and this is the session time, a kind of overview. And how that portal is going to get this data? Because it's not, they will ask that, hey, PingFederate team, can you please prepare a kind of sheet for a spreadsheet for us and just put all those things and then give it to me. That is not the way, correct way, right? Because if we are going to give a manually, again, there is a chance that maybe I can give some incorrect data to them. And again, that is going to present the wrong data in that portal also. So what they are doing, they are just going to use our REST API. So this is the advantage of REST API also. You can see this in this example. So what they will do, they will just try to call our REST API of, maybe you can say the policy part, application creation, right? Those may be the basic, the APIs basically from where they want to get in data of the application and how they configured. So they will just call those APIs, REST APIs of PingFederate, and get those data. And based on getting those data in the JSON form, they will just now do some, like what I can say, just removal of the unwanted things, right? They will just try to grab the data which tells the application name, application ID, like that, And then on the authentication part, that whether the application have the MFA or not, or whether application or what authentication mechanism application is using, right? And what is the session time set at the PingFederate for critical applications. So all those data they will try to get from the REST API, and that will make, they will just make this like a portal, like a live data, right? So that portal is continuously getting the syncing from the PingFederate by just calling the APIs and get those data. So in case if I just onboard a new application today, it will automatically reflect in that portal also, because they just want to make this as a live, right? It's not like I onboarded application today in PingFederate and after 2 or 3 days it's reflecting in their portal. No, it's not like that. So it will just quickly sync. So that means it's a live sync. So that's the advantage. One example I'm giving you that I've seen in the industry nowadays people are using, because that's a logical also, right? Because if your management wants to know the condition or the overview of your applications running in PingFederate, so how they can get the data? They will not ask you to prepare a spreadsheet and give it to them, because again when you're doing some manual, there are chances of error. So instead of that, if there is a way we can get this data and present in some portal with some like better understanding of the authentication mechanism and other things, session time and other informations, so it will be good, right? So that's what is happening in the industry for now. So these are the examples like which you can also use, or you can just try to explore the APIs, different APIs of PingFederate, and try to see that how those works, right? How you can just rather by going to console, how you can perform those things using REST API. You can just use Postman also for that. That means like, because when you're calling PingFed API, you need an authentication. So you can just use the same basic authentication for now, like how you're connecting to the console, like your administrator username and the password. But later, you can change this to also, like there's a way I'll just discuss maybe in later section, that there is a way you can just change the authentication flow also of this API. Rather just using the basic, you can use the auth form. So that is also a way. But yeah, for now, just see that you can, in the Postman, you can go and set up the basic authentication, like username, your administrator username and password, and then call the REST API and see that how things are working. Okay. So this is thing like, and now how you can able to see the complete APIs of PingFederate. So you can just access this link, like it's running on my localhost. So localhost 999, the port number with the PF admin API / API docs. So let me copy this and go to the browser. I'll just access this. Okay. So by getting this, like you can able to see the, yeah. So this is the administrative API documentation. So you can give all the entire, whatever the, you can see that whatever things you are doing in PingFederate console, right? All those APIs you can see, the administrative accounts, authentication API, authentication policies. If you can just enable that, you can see that list. So it's just talking about the get the authentication policy contract, create a new authentication policy contract, get the authentication policy contract by ID. So all have the REST APIs, all this product, all these features I'll say, or whatever the things in the PingFederate, but you need to see that what you want to use, and based on that you can try and test those. I'll just give you some example also in my coming section. I'll just show you like maybe, but I'll just show you in Java, using Java, but you can use in the Postman, or you can use in any other programming language also. Okay, so you have the authentication selector, bulk, then captcha providers, certificates, groups, then certificate revocation, cluster, config archive, config store, configuration encryption keys. So these are all extended properties. So all these are the REST APIs of PingFederate. Now you can see what is your requirement in your case, and based on that you can just call these APIs and just do the performance, right? I'll just give you one more example, like for the advantage of REST API. Like you, let's say that someone just told you, hey, can you give me the list of SAML connections running in the PingFederate in your environment? So in that case, like it's not, you will go to the PingFederate and you'll just try to, let's say if maybe you are not having the backend control in your side, you have only console, administrative console, and someone is asking, hey, go and just export all the SAML connections. Like let's see if I can go to PingFederate. Let me log in 1 second. Okay, so let's say that if I can go to SAML connection, SP connections, and you can see I have like many SAML or WSFET connections configured here. Let this to load quickly. Yeah, so you can see I have like, let's say for 3 or 4 SAML connections. So someone wants that, hey, can you give me the list of SAML connections? So if we have like 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, it is easy. You can just go and export the metadata, you can give it to them. Or maybe you can just export all the metadata, just extract that the application ID kind of thing, and then just send it to the application team. That is also one of the way. But when you have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 connections, how you can do that? It's not very easy. You can export all the connections from here. So then the API is going to help you. So we have the API. Let me show you that. So yeah, you can see IDP SP connection. So in this, you can see get a list of SP connections. So using this REST API, what we can do, if we can call, we can get all the connections related information, whatever the SP connections we have. Maybe it's a SAML or WS fed, but yeah, we can put a filter and just remove the maybe the WS fed in from there. But there is a way you can use this REST API and get all the list of connections. And now it's very easy for you to get this data and send to the application team or any other person whosoever needs that data. Right? So that's the advantage here. Maybe I can say, so there are a few examples I just shown you, right? Maybe this connection part, or maybe how the portal is connecting, that compliance portal is connecting to our PingFederate API and get the connection list in terms of authentication, right? And then also we can just how we can automate like this part, right? How we can reduce our time in onboarding an application by using this REST API things. So all these things have, so yeah, based on that, as per your requirement in the project, you can design and build that. Okay. So this is one thing, and let me go to the doc file again. So this is the API through which you can access. Now, if you want to access this API directly, let's say for V1 version, right? So let me go back to that. So we have like REST API to get the version of PingFederate is running in your environment. So there is, let me show you. Yeah, you can see /version, right? So we have this basically get the server version. So this API is going to give us the PingFederate version currently running. So you can simply just go and call this API from your browser also. But when you're going to call from your browser, the browser will just deny that because it needs a header X SRF header. It's required just for the CSRF protection. So you can just add this header like in the browser extension, like there is a mod header extension. You can just open that and it will give you an option to add a header. So in that you can just add the header name here like XSRF header and the header value is PingFederate. And then when you call this API, it will just ask you for the credentials. Definitely it will just authenticate you using the same credentials what you are using in logging to the PingFederate, that your administrator ID and password. And I'll just show you in the screenshot also. So you added the header like this, and then now once you access the API in the version, maybe in the browser directly, it will ask for the authentication. So you can just give the administrator ID and password, and then it will just give you the version. Right. So this is also a, and also you can directly just open this API docs, and then I'll just show you. Like just click on this gate. Right. So 1 second. Yeah. So this is like let me just there is an option, right? You can see try it out. So when you click on try it out, it will just ask for the authentication part. Like once I'll click on execute, yeah. So now it will just ask me for authentication. The same like administrator ID I need to give here. So let me quickly give my credential. Once I give my credentials and click on sign in, it will give me the result. I'll show you. Yeah, so you can see what happened here. So this is basically the API, localhost 99 port number /pfadmin-API/v1/version. So this API goes when called, and there is a accept application JSON header added, and there are other header that XRF header, that is the value PingFederate, it's added, and then it's giving me the result. You can use the curl also, right? Using the curl also you can get that. Like this is the way you can call the curl, and yeah, it's giving the response body like 12104. That's the version we are running right now. If I can go to PingFederate, I can show you. So let's go to this question mark and click on about, and you can see the version is 12.1.0.4. That's what we get in the API. Yeah, this is the one. So this is the way. So there are two way, right? I'll not say two way. There are multiple ways. So one is directly you can come to this docs, try it out like how I just tried, and then execute. It will ask for the authentication, and then you can get the result of that API. Basically you want the version, so you can get the version. In similar way, you can just use this by directly calling in the browser, but there you just need to add that extension as I told. You just add the mod header and then add the header XSRF with the value PingFederate, and then you can able to get the result after authentication. Another third way I can say, you can just go to Postman. In the Postman, go for the basic authentication and just enter the administrator ID and administrator password, and then call this REST API by adding the header. There also you need to add the header and then pass the API and then just get the result. So again it will, because you're already passing the username password, so it will not again ask for the authentication, rather than it will directly give you the result. Fourth option, I'll just show you in the coming section, like maybe after this. You can just write a code in Java or maybe Python, any programming language, and then just build that. So whether it's get or post, based on that you can just write your code, that where you can define the security part, the API, the authentication, and then basically how you're going to read that value and then send that, right? So, and also header part you need to add the same thing. So similar thing what we are doing here directly, you can just put in the code also and then just try to make it. And by using that, as I told, right, you can make some automations also, right? Because in every industry you can see that everywhere we have some kind of portal of that company, right? So in that portal we have some section we can build, and then we can incorporate these things, right? So that we can just make our things more faster and more easy compared to doing the manual. So this is about the REST API thing, right? So there are 6-7 sections where we'll try. So you can see all these APIs. So we'll not able to try all those APIs, right? Otherwise it will take need more videos. But what I'll try, just give you an example. That means I'll just try to pick maybe 5 or 6 or maybe more than that. I think I have 6 or 7 sections. Yeah. So I'll just pick like those some APIs here, and then I'll just open the Eclipse, and then I'll show you that how we can put a code there, and then how we can execute and get the result in similar way what we are doing in Postman or from the browser or from directly from this API docs. Okay, and then we can see the result, and yeah, so you'll get an understanding, and then maybe you can build also if you want in your company or in the any for your learning purpose also. And this is really important thing nowadays, what I see, because how you can call the APIs is very easy, right? You can just have authentication and then just put in the Postman. But yeah, I think Postman is doing the work for us. It's writing the code behind that, so we are not able to understand what happened. So that's what I'm saying, that it's good to go by putting some program, right? Just write a program, just write a Java or any Python, any program, right? And then see how the results are happening. So that will give you a more idea, more insight and all those things, rather than just putting the Postman. Later you can put, but just for understanding, first just try using some code, using some program, and then later you can use the Postman or any other tool also. And yeah, all those things I'm putting in the repository of this admin REST API call. Like as you can see, all those sections I put here. So I'll just give this link so you can just go and just get access to the code also, whatever we are just trying to test in the Eclipse. So when you are just writing from your side, if there is any problem you see, you can just open this and just have a look at how it is written. Okay, so I hope, yeah, this is some long section, but yeah, if you have any questions, please put in the comment section. And this is a very important section. Please try to understand, do the practice, and yeah, have your knowledge updated. Yeah. Okay, so thank you, and let's jump to the next section.